कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानशृण्वन्नोदिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्रीशङ्कराचार्यस्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
भानुरेखा भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात्।
गुड।
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय।
न चामान्तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनम् असक्तन्न तेषु कर्मसु।
ओके। न च मान्तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय।
न च मान्तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय। न च मान्तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय।
गुड।
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृति सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते।
गुड।
विजयलक्ष्मी आर भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
अवजानन्ति मां मूढाः मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावमजानन्तः मम भूतमहेश्वरम्।
भानुरेखा भगिनी। Oh, I called her.
Yes, ma'am, I got it.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
मोघाशमोघकर्माणः मोघज्ञानविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः।
मोहज्ञाना, not मोहज्ञान, मोहज्ञाना।
मोघज्ञाना। ओके
ना, that is dirgha, na is dirgha. Okay. So we go to the news Shloka today.
साई लक्ष्मी भगिनी।
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ
दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः
दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः।
गुड। नेक्स्ट।
शारदा राजन भगिनी।
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः
ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्
ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतानिमव्ययम्.
Very good. Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवी प्रकृति मां श्रिताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवी प्रकृति माश्रिताः.
Good. Next.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्
Okay, Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Yes, sir.
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
First line.
नमस्ते महोदय महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः.
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Second line 2 times.
नमस्ते महोदय
Namaste.
भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
Full shloka once.
आम् महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
Full shloka.
Yes, sir. महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. Next.
Shanti Badri Bhagini.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Next.
Vijayalakshmi R Bhagini.
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. One more person.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्.
Good. So now let's go to the meaning of this shloka. Mahatmanaha tu. He has put a word tu here. Tu means but or however. So that means that he is changing the topic. So what is the change in topic? Look at the previous two shlokas. The earlier two shlokas, Bhagavan was talking about people who do not understand him. Avajananti mam mudaha manushim tadamashtitam. So the people who think that just because I am in this human body, they are not able to recognize me. They are not able to understand and appreciate my parambhavam, my supreme existence. They are not aware of that. And I am the Bhuta Maheshwaram. I am the Ishvara or the God for the entire creation. So he talked about one group of people who are not able to recognize the divine Bhagavan who is there in this Manushim Tanum. Manushim is human body. He was specifically taking reference to Duryodhana in that particular last meeting that they had before the war. And not only Duryodhana could not recognize, some of them were able to recognize Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna there. But Duryodhana, despite God showing his Vishwarupa Darshanam to Duryodhana, he still concluded that he is Vasudeva Krishnan, is a Mayavi, is a Maya Krishnan, Vasudeva Krishnan, Maya Krishnan, and he has got to be arrested and he has got to be killed first. That is the way Duryodhana took a kind of thing. He did not even at that particular point in time, he was only talking about not accepting Bhagavan as a Krishna as a Bhagavan. And subsequently, even Krishna happens to meet Gandhari, and Gandhari told Krishna, why don't you change the mind of Duryodhana? Krishna makes a very clear statement to her. He says that your son is ignorant, he is ajnani, he is ignorant, he has got to correct himself. I have given him all opportunities. All the senior people, everybody has told what he is supposed, what is right and what is wrong. But he is ignorant, so I can't help. So what we need to understand from this is that the free will is given to us. Help will be available, but correcting ourselves in the right path is our own responsibility. Bhagavan will not take responsibility. We have to understand. He has given the free will. He will provide you all the kinds of support. He will provide you people like Drona is available, people like Bhishma was available, Vidura was there, Sanjaya, the minister of Dhritarashtra, is such a wonderful person. He is there. Everybody, Vyasa was there, the big person in the entire family. Krishna himself has given advice. Despite that, he does not understand. Despite Bhagavan gives his own darshana, he does not understand. So the free will is something that we only can correct ourselves. Anybody can come and give advice. Even parents who have experienced, they'll give a lot of advice to children, but they will continue to do what they will and what they want to do. Bhagavan has made everybody have free will, and the free will management, he said that individuals should do it, but we'll provide all the help. We'll only take the horse to water, but we'll not make it drink. That is to be very clearly understood. So he talked about Duryodhana and other people who could not even understand him despite he giving his Vishwarupa Darshana. Then he is also talking about the rest of the people who are all driven by useless hopes. They do useless actions. They got useless knowledge, moga jnana, moga karmanaha, moga ashaha, vichetasaha. They are not able to discriminate. All these people, they are not bad people, but they do not know what is the purpose of this life, why we have taken this human life, what is that we can accomplish as a human being. It's the highest level of accomplishment, because we have discussed this enough in the earlier chapters. Whatever they are pursuing is only having a limited amount of happiness. He said, no, you pray some God, they'll give you certain things and you'll be having a limited happiness, and that happiness will also not be sustainable. Even the biggest person like Ambani may not be happy with the wealth that he has got. So there is a limit. So ultimately, there can be a continuous dissatisfaction because they feel that happiness is only in the world of things. but they do not understand the self itself is happiness, self is a divine Swarupa, and we have to get into this one, self. So he has talked about two different types of people in the earlier sloka. Now he is talking about the other people too. However, Mahatmanaha, those people who are having wisdom, what do? Mam prakritim jnatva, mam daivim prakritim jnatva. Once they know my divine nature, jnatva, mam prakritim jnatva, Partha o Arjuna, those wise people who are able to understand my divine nature, then what do? They ashtitaha, they try to hold on to it. They know that Bhagavan is the divine thing. We need to always have we need to always be with him. And then what do? Bhajanti. They keep worshipping him. Ananya manasaha. Without any kind of distraction, they are able to worship the Bhagavan. Because they know that Bhagavan, Mam Partha, is what? Who is he? Budhari Avyayam. He is the Adi. Bhuta Ganangal, he is the Adi for the everything. He is the creator. Bhutadi is he the creator. He is the number one. He is the creator. Avyayam. He is eternal. So only those people, because they know, they are able to worship Bhagavan. Daivi, and they are able to recognize the Daivim Prakruti, the divine nature of Bhagavan. So that's what Bhagavan says. So this is the contrast between the earlier people who could not recognize even his divine form, other group of people who are pursuing the world of things without understanding what is the purpose of taking this human life, because we don't know once we die what kind of life we are going to get. We don't know. It's all going to be driven by our karma phalas. Whereas Mahatmas are different. The thing is that they will be able to understand his divine thing. And divinity is only Bhagavan. If you look at that way, divinity is there with every one of us. That's what is Bhagavad Gita teaching. If you look at that way, if you look at our culture, when we do a puja in the altar at the house or altar at the temple, what we do everything and then we say Namaste. Namaste stu Mahamaya Sri Pidasuru Pujite, we say. Then Namah Shivaya, Namo Narayanaya. We put Namaha, we do that. Similarly, when we start looking at somebody, supposing somebody is coming in front of us, what do? We say Namaste. We say Namahate. The same Namaste we give to Bhagavan or Devi or whatever we have in the puja room or in a house, in the temple. The same thing we do even to individual whom we meet. Namahate, Namaste. Which means that in Hindu culture, we are able to understand the divinity in other people as a culture, and then we have this as a practice. This is contrasting the practice that they have in the Western world, where they have a shaking hand kind of habit. If you look at the Western world, they shake hands. If you look at how the culture came of shaking hands, it's very interesting. The thing is that in many of these Western worlds, they had no trust in the person whom they are meeting. They feel that this fellow is always going to carry some gun with him and then he's going to shoot me or carry some arm and kill me. So let him open his arm and show that everybody is right-handed people. If at all he's going to have arm, he's going to have arm on his right hand. So first let him show that his right hand is empty. So he shows his right hand is empty. The other fellow shows his right hand is also empty, that I am not going to kill you, you are not going to hit me. Then they shake hands and then they hold on for some time so that he does not take his hand back to take something. So that is the kind of drastic change between the culture that we are. We feel everybody is a divine dispensation. Everybody is divine. That other cultures don't know those kinds of things. That's a very rich culture that we are in, which has to be appreciated. And that is there right from the time immemorial. Sanatana is all going on immemorial. Only thing is that today what is happening is that many of the next generation of children, perhaps they are 1 or 2 generations down the line, they are not able to understand Bhagavan. If you look at that way, they may think that sitting for 1 hour in these kinds of classes or going to temple or some of the days, all those things in the modern day with education, technology, and then worldly exposures, there is a kind of drift in terms of understanding our culture and our own things. They start asking, who is God? If you ask them, their concept of God is that God is somebody who is sitting in heaven, and then he will be omniscient, omnipresent, and he is sitting somewhere, and then we all worship him. That is the kind of perception they have, and they don't agree to that. So the reason is that it is not that they are rejecting God. It is the kind of understanding of God that has been given to them is being rejected. by the next generation also. By the next generation, the coming generations. If you look at that way, there are a lot of problems that we are facing because of that. Many people are not able to appreciate our Hindu dharma. I think we'll be talking about in the next slokas also. So, if you look at it, if somebody asks you now after attending 9 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, if somebody asks you what is God, I am sure that our concept of God after reading Bhagavad Gita, even up to now, is totally different. I think that is the kind of concept that we need to give. The other religions believe that the world came from nothing, but we believe that world came from something, nothing. Creatio, or in the case of biblical thing says, Bhagavan, the Lord created the universe without anything, from nothing. But we don't believe that. We believe that if there is a creation, there should be a creator. So that is a creator. So if you look at that way, even that 7th chapter and all that we studied, we talked a lot about these kinds of nimitta karana, upadana karana, creation, God, how the creations came, everything we studied. So I think it is essential that the understanding of God should be something very, very different that need important. Otherwise, we may have a difficulty in the understanding of the next generation. I'm slightly digressing away from the topic that we are supposed to discuss, but that is the fact. So it should not happen that people think that Bhagavan is somebody who is sitting in the Vaikuntham. Vaikuntham, nobody knows where it is. And then he sits there and I sit here and I pray and then he is able to see from there and do something. If you give these kinds of concepts, it may be okay for up to some level of maturity. Beyond that, this concept of understanding Bhagavan is there, I am here. So Bhagavan is miles, what is that? So many light years away, he's going to sit there and he's going to be happily sitting and sleeping on Adishesha. If you have that kind of a concept of God, then we are mistaken and we give a wrong information to our own next generation. So we have to understand it from the perspective of creation and then how things are happening, the world of laws, the dharmic laws, all these kinds of things to be understood properly so that we'll be able to explain what Bhagavan is. That is what is something that we need to all start working towards. Slight digression. Anyhow, I thought it was essential. Okay. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Yes. Namaste. Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Satatam kirtayanto mam. Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Yatantascha dridau vrataha.
Yatantascha dridavvrataha. Yatantascha dridavvrataha.
Satatam kirtayanto mam. Yatantascha dridau vrataha.
Satatam kirtayanto mam. Yatantascha dridavvrataha. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Yatantascha dridavvrataha.
Good. Next.
Sharada Rajan Bhagini.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya.
Namaskyantascha mam bhaktya. Namaskyantascha mam bhaktya.
Nityayukta upasate.
Nityayukta upasate. Nityayukta upasate.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Nityayukta upasate.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Nityayukta upasate. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Nityayukta upasate.
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Satatam kirtayanto mam. Yatantascha dridau vrataha.
Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drudau vrataha. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drudau vrataha.
Good. Next.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Nityayukta upasate.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya भक्त्या युक्ता उपासते नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या युक्त्या उपासते.
Good. Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
First line 2 times.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यत्नञ्च दृढतः सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः.
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Second line 2 times.
नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Full sloka.
Yes, sir. सततं कीर्तयन्तो मा यतन्तश्च दृढव्रतः सततं कीर्तयन्तो मा यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः सततं कीर्तयन्तो मा यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good.
नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Banu Rekha Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढौ व्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यान्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Namasyantascha.
नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Shanti Badri Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढौ व्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. One more person.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढौ व्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Good. So he is continuing the earlier shloka that he talked about, no? Where Mahatmanah Mam Daivim Prakriti Mashitaha Bhajanti Ananya Manasaha Bhutadi Bhavyam So after knowing that, they continue to worship me. They understand my Daivim Prakriti, divine nature, all those things he told. And how do they further do things? Satatam Kirtayantaha. Satatam means always. Kirtayantaha means praising or appreciating. So these people who have been able to understand the divinity of Bhagavan, divinity is not necessarily only in the temple or in the puja room. Divinity in everything that we see in the world of things, they appreciate. They appreciate, oh, every morning sun comes at 6 o'clock in the morning. It provides us with light. It makes the plants to produce oxygen. I am able to breathe the oxygen. I am finding all these kinds of growth is taking place. I am getting very good vegetables and fruits from the earth, Mother Earth. I am getting copious rainfall, which takes care of my water need. I am having so much rainfall, my paddy field is now full of grains. So if you look at that way, that is the beauty that we have to appreciate. We all take it for granted. We all feel that it all happens, but it is all happening with the divine blessing. So people who are able to appreciate the entire divine nature with which everything is continuing. Bhagavan is ensuring that everything is continuing. So Satatam Kirtayantaha. So by looking at it, everything that you see, you have to appreciate the presence of Bhagavan or grace of Bhagavan or the blessings of Bhagavan. Satatam Kirtayantaha. Yatantascha Dridavrataha. Yatantascha means they contain Dridavrataha means determination and commitment. Dridavrataha is determination and commitment. Yatantaha means they do a lot of efforts in trying to worship me, in trying to know me. Namasyantaha, they surrender across to me. Bhaktya means with so much of devotion. Nitya Yuktaha, they are always connected with me. They are always trying to be with me. Upasate, they worship. Okay. So those kinds of people who are able to see divinity all around, who are able to understand Bhagavan, who is able to understand the higher level of order, the Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman, all those things who are able to understand, and they look at with wonderment of everything they see. Satatam Kirtayantaha, Yadantacha Dridavrataha. Then, so that's what he says. Then Nitya Yuktaha. He says Satatam in the first place, always. And the second line also is telling Nitya. Nitya means always. Always they are worshipping me. So the question arises, does it mean that right from the morning when I get up, I have to keep on worshipping Bhagavan? Continuously sit there and then say Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. That's the kind of question that arises. But I'm sure that Bhagavan is telling this one after completing third chapter. In third chapter, he very clearly told that have an devotional attitude in terms of doing the work that you're doing. You can be engaged in any kind of thing that you're doing here. It might be going to an office and doing some work, or it might be doing some kind of work in the kitchen, or it can be going out to help somebody. Anything that you do, have that kind of devotional attitude that this is Deva Karyam that I am doing. I am supposed to do this, I am doing Deva Karyam. So when you do that kind of a thing with that kind of attitude, Satatam Kirtayantaha, Satatam Namasyantaha, Satatam Bhaktyaha. So it takes care of everything. Only thing is that we have to have that attitude of devotional, maintaining a devotional attitude in everything that we do. And that is what is going to take us to the realization of Bhagavan. So when he says Satatam, let us not think that 24/7 he is asking me to worship Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. No, he is not telling that. He says that you be engaged, but ensure that you are able to understand many things, that everything is devotional attitude that you have. That is what is the one that is going to take you forward in life. Then if you look at that way, there are some people who go to the temple in the sometime and then they have bhakti for 10 minutes. Or in the morning they have some lighting the lamp and 10 minutes bhakti. So those kinds of bhaktis are there for 10 minutes, then over. My job of devotion is over. Then I went to all my other kinds of activities. So that is called, Swami Dayananda calls it as spasm. They get a spasm and then they go and worship in front of God. And then the spasmodic devotion. Only when the spasm is there, the spasms continue only for some minutes and go away. So these people have got spasmodic devotion. I don't think Bhagavan is asking for spasmodic devotion. He is telling that try to understand divinity in everything that you do. Try to understand divinity in everything that you see. Try to understand divinity in everything that you are meeting up with people, etc. So that is what Bhagavan says. Satatam kirtayantaha mam yatantaha dridhavrataha namasyanti mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Okay, and then worship. Okay, he says worship. Worship is for whom? It's a very important question we have to ask. He said, I am worshipping. Worshipping is for whom? He means to say that the Nirguna Brahman is waiting for so and so person. In the morning 6:30 is waiting, oh, this man has to get up, he has to go and have his bath, he has to come and then he has to worship me. He means to say he's waiting for that? No. Worship is not for Bhagavan. Worship is for the individual. We have to understand that very, very clearly. We'll talk about that in some more shlokas, in another few chapters. Bhagavan is not, worship is primarily for the individual. Bhagavan he is not waiting somewhere and then expecting, oh, he is now coming and praising me. Oh, he's putting pat on my back. Oh, my son, you have done a very good job. Oh, Bhagavan, you have done a very good job. Modi has put in elections. No, he's not going to do any of those things. Worship is primarily for the individuals. Individuals in terms of their own antakarna chutti, individuals in terms of understanding the entire creation, individuals understand the Brahman in you. Thus, we have to understand. It is something like, in some of the functions, etc., they very clearly say, we want only your divine, we are inviting you for birthday function or marriage function, and we only solicit your presence, but not present. That's what people say. Many people, they put in the invitation card also. But despite that also, some people carry and then hand over some small gift. It is not that the other person is waiting for this person to come with the gift and give. No. This person also knows that they do not want a gift. He is not waiting for a gift from me. He wants only my presence. But still they carry a small bouquet, a small thing. It's a love and affection they want to show. So worshipping is showing your own love and affection. It is your internal attitude. It is not that the other person is waiting for that. So we have to have a different thought process in terms of worshipping. So the God is waiting for worshipping on Ayudha Puja day, that you are going to make suyam, appam, all these things. I am waiting for all these things. They are going to feed me on Gokulashtami with all these things. No. Bhagavan is Bhagavan. He does not want any of these things. Worshipping is for your own self. That we have to understand very clearly. It is not that Bhagavan is going to bless only when you do certain things and not the other way. Bhagavan, if you are having a pure heart, he is going to help, he is going to bless. And even whatever Kuchela gave also, he was very happy. Even in that, if you look at that way, in the last negotiation discussion, when he went to the house of Vidura and stayed there, Vidura's wife served him with a very minimal amount of food. She had only some rice and few other roti, etc. Then she also spelled, I am very sorry, I am not able to serve you all these things. But very happy that you are here. Then Bhagavan takes a small roti piece, it becomes a laddu, which he likes very much. Then Vidura also takes a piece of this thing, he gets something of his own choice. So it is a love and affection that is important than showing off certain things and say this is what it is. Okay. So Bhagavan, worship is something we need to really understand. Worship is not for Bhagavan. Worship is for our own selves, our own internal purity, our own cleanliness, our own love. So that has got, any worship has got to improve our mind process, mental thinking, our own attitude. If that is not there, and we are worshipping because I go to a temple and donate 1 lakh of rupees because everybody is saying so-and-so has given 1 lakh of rupees for the Ganesha temple and everybody is going to clap hands, you are gone. It is not the real worship. So he is going to talk about those things also in the coming chapters. We'll take it up at that point in time. Okay, next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yes, madam.
Jnana yajnena chapyanye.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये
Yajanto mamupasate.
यजन्तो मामुपासते यजन्तो मामुपासते
Jnana yajnena chapyanye. Yajanto mamupasate.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन
बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्
बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Good. Next.
Vijayalakshmi R Bagini.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ते यजन्तो मामुपासते ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते.
Next.
Shanti Badri Bagini.
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Next.
Gurumurthy Mahodaya.
First line 2 times.
Gurumurthy Mahodaya. Okay. Krishna Pavani Bagini. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Mahodaya.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन तत्त्वेन उदानिश्वतो मुखम्.
Okay. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bagini.
The full shloka.
ज्ञानये
Full shloka.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Good. Next.
Sharada Rajan Bagini.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bagini.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bagini.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
First line again, please.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Good. Next.
Bhanureka Bagini.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Next. One more person.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini.
आम् ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Good. We'll go to the meaning of the shloka. So last two slokas, we have been talking about how the people who know the God worship Him. We found Mahatmanaha, they were able to understand divinity. Daivi Prakritim Ashitaha. So then subsequently he said Nitya Yuktaha, Bhajantyaha, Kirtayantaha. All those things he was speaking about the previous sloka. In this sloka, Jnana Anye, some more people, other people, Jnana Yajnana Yajantaha. Jnana Yajnam is what? Through knowledge. The other day, I think in the case of fourth chapter or something, we discussed about various kinds of yajna, jnana yajnam, tapo yajnam, all those yajnas we read. So that time we talked about learning scriptures is itself a jnana yajnam. Like whatever we are doing now in terms of understanding Bhagavan by reading Bhagavad Gita text together and understanding the meanings of Bhagavad Gita slokas itself is jnana yajna. This is another way of worshipping. Vijantaha mam upasate. Some people worship me by understanding all these things, by gaining knowledge of the scriptures, by gaining knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. All these things are jnana yajna. Okay. So jnana yajnena cha api anye yajantaha mam upasate. They worship me. Then ekatvena. Some people worship me as the only God. Nirguna Brahmam, sannyasis, etc. They may not. They may worship him as a Nirguna Brahmam always, or when they are in a kind of a meditation, they look at him as a Nirguna Brahmam, the only God, because of which everything is there. The only reality behind which everything is existing in the world is that one divinity, and that is Brahman, that is Nirguna Brahmam. So, Ekatvena, they look at only one Bhagavan. Pritatvena, somebody starts making it as a two different kinds of things, divides. So, somebody, if you look at the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you look at their thought process, they have Dvaita principle. It is Advaita is Aham Brahmasmi, etc. Advaita principle. Bhagavan and I are same. Dvaita, Bhagavan is in different plane. So they say Vaikunta, Bhagavan is Vaikunta, or ISKCON people, they say he is in Goloka, and then we are all here. We worship him. He is there and we are here. That is another form of worship. Okay. Pritatvena, Bahuda means multiple things. Different places they worship different types of deities. Somebody will worship as Hanuman, somebody will worship as Lakshmi, somebody worship as Kali, somebody worship Rama, somebody worship Ishvara, Muruga, Ayyappa, Bahuda. They worship in multiple different kinds of ways. Then somebody worships Vishwatho Bhukam. Vishwatho Bhukam means the entire universe is Bhagavan. And if you look at our Mukha, we are able to see only with two eyes. When you say Vishwatho Mukam means Vishwa, the entire Vishwa has got the face of Bhagavan. So he can see everything. He is omnipresent. He is knowledge. His knowledge is everything. Everybody can see. So they can see him as a Vishwatho Mukam also. So there are four different ways also they will be able to worship Bhagavan. So when you look at it, this particular sloka very carefully, it's very interesting. If you look at Ekatvena, Bhagavan says, if they worship that I am the only God, I am fine. That is one of the some groups of people worship. So when you look at it as a scripture which talks about Bhagavan, take out Sanatana Dharma, take out Hinduism, don't we feel that some of the religions, they are practicing religions, we have only one God, Father. He is there in the thing, heaven, and he has created in 7 days the entire world. Is he only one holy Father, Ekatvena. So that is also God. So if you look at that way, their philosophy also, there's only one God. Bhagavan says that is correct. He also accepts them as kind of devotees. Then there is also somebody in Quran, it says only one God is there. That is Nirguna Brahman is there. In the case of Bible, it's only one God, Savana Brahman. That is my father, or holy mother, like that. Whereas in the case of Islamic, they say Nirguna Brahman. There's only one Allah. That is also Bhagavan says is okay. That is also another form of worship. I am accepting it. Bahuda, we talked about different places, different Kamakya worship or Devi worship, all these things are fine. Vishwatha Mukam. So Bhagavan says, any way they worship, it is all be. There is only one Bhagavan. Whatever way they want, they are comfortable, they can worship, I am fine. So for this, there's only, in the case of Bala Vihar, it's one kind of teaching for children, that is being done by Chinmaya Mission, as well as similar kind of thing is also done by various Dayananda Study Mission also. So one of the stories that they were telling to a child, that was children's story when they give about various concepts of God. That's a very impressive story which I thought I should share with you. the children's story in US, they were giving this story to children. So the children were asking, why so many gods? Then this person were explaining, okay, how many mothers you have? The children were asked. Only one mother, they said. Okay, only one mother. How do you call your mother? They said, mom. Okay, you call your mother mom. Okay, good. So when your grandmother comes to your house, what does your grandmother call your mother? She'll call her mom? No, she'll call her as Betty. So she called her as Betty. Okay. Then when your dad comes home from the office, how does he call her? Sometimes he called her as, they have different cases, some nicknames. So they call by that name. Then when your mother goes to the bank, how do they call? They call her Mrs. Rao. So it's only your mother. Why did they not call her mom? No, they called her Mrs. Rao. So if you look at that way, please understand your grandmother calls Betty, your dad calls her by something, you call her mom, bank people call something else. So it's all same mother, but they call differently because that is the way they can relate. So depending upon you as an individual, how you can relate to your God, you can worship, but it is the same God. That is the way they try to inculcate in the mind of a child that Hinduism, we have only one God, but we can look at it in different ways. Vishwato Mukam is another way of looking at it. I worship the mountains, I worship the trees, I worship the rivers. So Vishwato Mukam. So this is the way Bahuda. Bahuda means it can be worshipped differently. Bhagavan himself says it can be worshipped differently, but it's all me. It's all Nirguna Brahman that they are worshipping. And only thing we have to understand is that the divinity that they worship is the same divinity that is there in them also. So that is the understanding that we need to have in this particular shloka. Next.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
Aham kraturahai yajnah.
Aham kraturahai yajnah. Aham kraturahai yajnah.
Svadahamaham
Svadhahamaham Svadhahamaham
Aham kraturahai yajnah. Svadahamaham
Aham kraturahai yajnah Svadhahamaham Aham kraturahai yajnah Svadhahamaham.
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Mantrohamahamahamevajam.
मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम्
Ahamagdiraham hutam.
अहमग्निरहं कृतम्
Hutam.
अहमग्निरहं हुतम्
Mantrohamahemevajam. Ahamagdiraham hutam.
मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम्.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Aham kraturahai yajnah. Svadahamaham.
अहं क्रतुरहै यज्ञः स्वदाहमहौषधम् अहं क्रतुरहै यज्ञः स्वदाहममौषधम्.
Split it now. Here he says aham. Svada aham. Aham aushadam. Svada aham. Aham aushadam. When they all club, no, aham comes twice, it is slightly confusing. Even second line also, I had difficulty in chanting it. Mantraha aham eva ajyam. Mantraka aham eva ajyam. I am the mantra. Aham eva, I am only ajyam, the ghee that we pour into the yajna. Mantra aham eva ajyam, aham agnihi, aham hutam, aham kratuhu, aham yajnah, Svada aham aushadam, mantraha aham eva ajyam, aham agnihi aham hutam. So everywhere he says I am. So when you are clubbing it as a compound word, sometimes there is a difficulty. Okay. Aham kraturahai yajnah svadahamaham
अहं क्रतुरहै यज्ञः स्वदाहममहौषधम् अहं क्रतुरहै यज्ञः स्वदाहममहौषधम्
Svadahamaham
स्वदाहमहमौषधम् स्वदाहमहमौषधम्.
So that aham you remember with you. Aham kratuhu, aham yajnah, svada aham aushadam, mantraha aham eva ajyam, aham agnihi, aham hutam. That is the way the words are to be broken up. Once you have this combination, you'll be able to understand that. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bagini.
Mantrohamahame
मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यं मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम्
ahamakniraham hutam.
अहमग्निरहं हुतम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम्.
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bagini.
Can you chant the full shloka slowly?
Okay, sir. अहं क्रतुरहै यज्ञः स्वदाहमहमौषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाजम् अहमग्निरहमूतम्.
Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bagini.
अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वदाहमहमौषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम्.
Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Full shloka.
Yes.
Aham krutaraham yajnah swadaham amam aushadam mantroham mevajyam aham agnirham hutam.
You have to be slow in your chanting because you are missing on some of the words.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the benefit of others, everybody I'm telling you, aham kratuhu, aham yajnah, svada aham aushadam, mantraha aham eva ajyam, aham agnihi, aham hutam. That is the thing, shloka. So what you should understand that so many things is there. I'll just give the meaning of it. Aham kratuhu. Aham kratuhu means there are two types of yajnas. One is called Shrauta yajna, Shrauta samskara, Smarta samskara. Shrauta means whatever is enjoined in the scriptures, Vedas. If somebody is doing those kinds of fire rituals, that's called Shrauta. Smarta is the one that is given in the Smritis, not in the Vedas, but in some other kinds of information is given. That's called Smarta. So, Aham Kratuhu, he says that I am the Shrauta yajna, whatever is being done. Then aham yajna, this is aham the smarta yajna. Swada aham, swada is the oblation we offer to the pitrus. If you look at some of the people who do the Amavasya Tarpana or even annual rituals, Shraddha, they say Swadanama Swaha. They will not, for the deities we say Swaha, for the pitrus we say Swada. So what is offered to pitrus are always Swada. So whatever is being offered to pitrus are Swada. Swada aham. Aham aushadam. Aushadam means primarily it is also called as medicine, but it is called Oshadi. Oshadi means the plants, herbs. So in the yajna they put those kinds of plants and herbs also. He says, I am that also. Mantraga aham. The mantra that is being chanted are also me. Aham eva ajyam. The ghee is offered into the fire, that is also me. Aham agnihi. The agni that is there is also me. Aham hutam, and whatever is offered as oblation to the fire is also me. In fact, this particular sloka is almost similar in meaning to whatever we have studied in the fourth chapter, in which we studied Brahmarpanam Brahma Havi Brahmapno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivadena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. This and that have got the same understanding. And if you look at that way here, Bhagavan says that everything that you do as a part of yajna is all me. Whether it's a Srauta yajna, or Smarta yajna, or Pitru yajna, or the yajna where you offer something, that offering is me, the Agni is me, I am the ghee, everything I am, that's what he's telling. It is just talking about the glory of Bhagavan, and that's called glory of Bhagavan is also called as Vibhuti of Bhagavan. The 10th chapter is called Vibhuti Yoga, where he is going to start talking about lot more things about aham, 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 aham. That is, he's going to give different kinds of ways by which you will be able to relate yourself to the God. We will be talking in the 10th chapter, that is called Vibhuti Yoga. So he is just giving us flavor of the Vibhuti in this particular sloka also. Maybe two of you can chant and then we'll close the class.
Sai
Aham.
अहं क्रतुरहै यज्ञः स्वदाहमहमौषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाद्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम्.
Vijayalakshmi or Bagini.
Aham kraturahai yajnah svadahamaham mantrohamahame ahamagmiraham hutam.
Good. Okay. Just to take 2 more minutes before I close. If you look at the fire rituals, there is a belief by many people that the fire ritual, the worship is for the fire. We have to understand that the fire ritual, the fire is also one of the means for reaching out to the deity that you are going to pray. Like, supposing if somebody is going to do a kind of fire ritual for Ganapati Homa, then the fire is being invoked, and in the fire we offer, and then we say that this particular thing should be taken to Ganapati. In another homam, Navagraha homam, we do that, and then we say that these things should be taken to Navagraha. So Agni, which is being invoked, Agni acts as the kind of a courier or a messenger between the Karta who is doing that to the respected God for whom they made the Sankalpa, and then they offer. Shivaya Namaha means it will go to Shiva. Similarly, the same fire, they are also offering in the case of Pitrus. In the case of once they take care of the Shraddha and all, some people may be aware. The Shraddha, they call out the names of the Pitrus and then they ask Svada Swaha, Pitrubhya, Pita Mahesh. So we offer that, Spida Svada. So the fire at that particular point in time will take it to the respective Pitrus also. Fire is supposed to be the medium through which offerings are carried and given to the form in which it is required to the respective deities or Pitrus, etc., etc. One. Second thing is that the fire also, if you look at some of these Vedas, they got, they say that Sapta Jihva, there are 7 mouths for the fire. And if you look at the fire, fire is not simple. They have different types of shapes are there, different types of colors are there. And some of the great Pandits, they know that there are 7 different types of flames they have, and each flame has got a specific mouth of something, some deity. So when they do that, when they offer also, they will offer only to just that specific portion of fire. One will be long, one will be yellow, one will be orange, one will be bluish, etc. But when they offer, they physically offer as though there are so many fire, open mouth. They're asking for it and they offer it. That's all there in our Vedas. I just thought I'll tell you about the depth of our Hindu culture in terms of understanding and how these things are all being done traditionally over so many years. Okay. Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim prakrutimashtithaha Vachanchananya manasah Jnatva bhutadi mauvyayam Satatham kirtayanto mam Yatantascha dridau vrataha Namasyantascha mam bhaktya Nitya yukta upasate Jnana yagnena chapjanye Yajanto mam upasate Ekatvena pratakvena Bahuda vishvato mukam अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वदाहमहमौषधं मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ